Have you ever looked up at a bird soaring effortlessly through the air and thought, man, I wish I could do that? The idea of humans taking flight has captivated our imaginations for centuries. From Greek myths of Icarus to the superhero comics of today, the allure of flight is deeply embedded in our collective psyche. But what if humans could actually fly? How would it change our world? Let's ditch the wax wings and jetpacks for a moment and delve into this fascinating thought experiment. We'll explore the potential impacts on our daily lives, our cities, our relationship with the environment, and even our culture. Buckle up, or should I say, spread your wings, because things are about to get interesting. Imagine a world without traffic jams, where your daily commute involves simply stepping out your window and taking flight. Rush hour would take on a whole new meaning as the skies buzzed with human activity. Cities would need to adapt, establishing aerial lanes to prevent mid-air collisions, much like we have roads and highways today. Air traffic controllers would become even more essential, guiding the flow of human traffic through the skies. We might even develop a whole new language for aerial navigation, complete with hand signals for yield and passing on your left. Cars and buses would likely become relics of the past, replaced by personal flying devices designed for individual or small group travel. Forget about parking spaces. We'd need landing pads, perhaps even integrated into our homes and workplaces. The airline industry would undergo a radical transformation, potentially focusing on long-distance travel or cargo transport as personal flight becomes the norm for shorter journeys. The ability to fly wouldn't just change how we get around, it would revolutionize the very buildings we live and work in. Imagine skyscrapers with entrances on every floor, accessible from the air. Elevators might become obsolete, replaced by a network of aerial corridors. Buildings could be designed with more open spaces and rooftop gardens, knowing that people could easily access different levels. Architects would need to rethink traditional design principles, incorporating features like windbreaks and landing platforms into their blueprints. Building materials might change too, prioritizing lightweight yet sturdy materials that could withstand the stresses of frequent takeoffs and landings. The skylines of our cities would be forever altered, transformed into a breathtaking tapestry of soaring structures connected by a network of aerial pathways. The world of sports would never look the same if humans could fly. Imagine the sheer exhilaration of free-flight races where athletes soar through the air, navigating obstacle courses or competing for the fastest time. Aerial acrobatics would reach new heights, literally with performers executing breathtaking maneuvers high above the ground. Even traditional sports like basketball and football would be revolutionized, with players taking to the air for slam dunks and touchdown catches that defy gravity. New sports would undoubtedly emerge, taking advantage of our newfound ability to navigate the skies. We might even see the rise of interspecies competitions, pitting humans against birds in tests of speed, agility, and aerial mastery. Chapter 4. From your doorstep to the sky, the evolution of commerce. Forget drones, imagine a world where anyone could become a delivery person simply by taking to the skies. Personal air deliveries would become commonplace, revolutionizing e-commerce and logistics. Small businesses could easily transport goods, and individuals could even offer their flying skills for courier services. This newfound freedom of movement would disrupt traditional transportation and logistics industries. Trucking companies and shipping giants would need to adapt or risk becoming obsolete. We might even see the emergence of air malls, floating marketplaces where vendors from around the world could gather to sell their wares. The concept of borders and trade barriers might take on a whole new meaning in a world where goods and services can be transported with ease through the air. Chapter 5. Taking flight for a bountiful harvest. Agriculture and fishing from above. The ability to fly wouldn't just change our cities, it would revolutionize how we interact with the natural world. Farmers could monitor vast fields from above, quickly identifying areas that need attention or tracking the progress of their crops. Pest control could be carried out with pinpoint accuracy, minimizing the need for harmful pesticides. For those who make their living from the sea, fishing would become a more targeted and sustainable practice. Fishermen could easily spot schools of fish from the air, avoiding overfishing and minimizing bycatch. Aquaculture, the farming of fish and other aquatic life, could be managed more effectively, with workers able to quickly access and monitor offshore platforms. Chapter 6. The World at Your Fingertips. Unlocking the Potential of Tourism. Imagine a world where the most remote and inaccessible corners of our planet are just a short flight away. Tourism would experience an unprecedented boom as people gain the ability to explore previously unreachable destinations. Mountaintop retreats, secluded islands, ancient ruins nestled deep within jungles, all would be easily accessible to those with the ability to fly. This newfound freedom of movement would create incredible opportunities for cultural exchange and understanding. Imagine flying to a remote village in the Himalayas, sharing a meal with a local family, and experiencing their way of life firsthand. The world would become a much smaller place, not just in terms of distance, but also in terms of the barriers that divide us. Chapter 7. Taking socializing to new heights, the evolution of human interaction. Think about how our social lives would change if we could simply fly over to a friend's house for dinner or meet for a coffee break on a passing cloud. Social gatherings might take place in the most extraordinary locations. A picnic on a mountaintop, a concert on a floating stage, a dance party under the stars. Our homes might even need designated landing areas for guests. This new dimension of movement could lead to the development of unique aerial cultures. Imagine elaborate courtship rituals involving synchronized flight patterns, or celebrations marked by breathtaking aerial displays. We might even develop new forms of art and entertainment specifically designed for a flying audience. With great power comes great responsibility, and the ability to fly would be no exception. Laws and regulations would be essential to ensure the safety and privacy of individuals in this new aerial age. We would need to establish rules for air traffic control, noise pollution, and property rights. Imagine the legal complexities of dealing with aerial trespassing or the potential for flyby crime. The concept of private property would take on a whole new dimension when anyone could potentially fly over your backyard. We might see the development of new security measures like sonic fences or anti-flight zones to protect private airspace. The ethical implications of human flight would be complex and far-reaching, requiring careful consideration and debate. The environmental implications of humans taking flight are complex and multifaceted. On the one hand, reducing our reliance on cars and trucks could lead to a significant decrease in fossil fuel consumption and greenhouse gas emissions. Imagine cities with cleaner air and quieter streets, as the roar of engines is replaced by the gentle whoosh of wings. However, we'd also need to consider the potential impact of human flight on bird migration patterns, noise pollution, and the spread of disease. Would our presence in the skies disrupt ecosystems or create new challenges for wildlife? These are questions that scientists and policymakers would need to address carefully as we navigate the complexities of a world where humans share the skies with birds and other flying creatures. Since the dawn of humanity, we've gazed up at birds with envy and wonder, marveling at their ability to soar through the air. But what if we were to join them in the skies? How would our relationship with these feathered creatures change? Would we view them as competitors for airspace, or would we develop a deeper understanding and appreciation for their aerial prowess? Imagine the knowledge we could gain by observing birds up close, studying their flight patterns, and perhaps even communicating with them in new ways. The ability to fly could open up exciting possibilities for interspecies collaboration, leading to new discoveries in fields like aerodynamics, navigation, and communication. Who knows, we might even learn a thing or two about ourselves in the process. The ability to fly would revolutionize our world in countless ways, from how we live and work to how we interact with nature. It's a fascinating concept that shows just how much our environment shapes our lives. While the challenges of adapting to a flying world would be significant, the possibilities are truly awe-inspiring. Perhaps one day the dream of human flight will become a reality, forever changing our perspective on the world and our place within it. Until then, we can continue to explore the boundless possibilities of the human imagination, soaring to new heights of curiosity and wonder.